Good morning, Vietnam. Well, next door, Thailand.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
Just real quick, because I know Ben's never looks at his messages, even though he says, "Yeah, make sure to send me a link." Ben, I sent you a link. It's in your messages. Ben's down there. You guys can't see him yet. So anyway, yeah, wow, we have 12 people on really fast. That's kind of cool. So I don't know if y'all could see us at the time, but we were pitching and moaning the whole time. I was anyway, because I was having technical difficulties yet again. But I think everything is fine now. So hi, Chris Chrisman. Chris is the one who actually said online standing by about 5 minutes before the show started, and I wanted to kill him. So thanks for that, Chris. Much appreciated. Yeah. Audrey, hi. Michelle, hi. Heather, hi. Facebook user, hi. I don't know who you are. Sharon, so this is all we see. So make sure that you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and authorize this application so we can see who you are. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Janine. What's up?
And that's all the people. Yeah, there's a lot of people here now. Yeah, I found it. I don't know where it was. I actually, when I first got it, I didn't fit in it, so I just put it somewhere. And today I tried it, and I still don't fit in it, but it's closer. So I wanted to show it off because Tammy Tishman went to a lot of trouble and mailed it all the way to Thailand, and I've never worn it on the show. So it's pretty sweet.
It is very sweet, actually. Hi, Mary. So yeah, it's a very cool thing. We got Ola Peoples from Facebook user. We don't know who you are, so if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and you should be able to change. You should be able to authorize this application so we can see who you are.
That might be their name.
Facebook user?
No, Ola Peoples.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the joke of the day is not any better than this. So, yeah, just to warn you.
We look forward to that then. So anyway, so how are you?
Yeah, all right. My daughter's 3rd birthday today, so I got to have all kinds of fun food and cake and stuff. I mean, she doesn't really care about it. She's 3, but, you know, I have all the pictures, so whenever she's a bratty teenager, I can show her everything we did for her.
Well, happy birthday to her. I saw that this morning. Facebook user who said, "Greeting, fellas. We don't know who you are, so please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and authorize this application so we can see who you are." It was Benaburb.
Yep, Benaburb.
Thank you. Don't know who you are, but we will try to have a great show.
Sounds like an Orlando one.
It's Jen. Happy birthday, Jen. Today's Jen's birthday. So if you happen to fall on today's show or any week's show and it's your birthday, we will hopefully know that and say happy birthday to you. So happy birthday. It was Wayne. Hi, Wayne. Welcome aboard. All right. So, and then we have Emma also, it looks like.
Good turnout today.
We're not going to know. Yes, Benny, you exist now. We're not going to know who you are, though, if you just type something. So if you don't do the StreamYard.com/Facebook thing and do the authorization or whatever, then just type your name so we know who you are when you ask the question. Otherwise, we have no idea.
Yep. So I'd ask you how you are, but maybe we shouldn't get into that.
No, let's not get into that. Yesterday was the day from hell. Today is really not starting out much better. So yeah.
I hear you. I've had bit on something and screwed up another tooth, so I'm on morphine at the moment. So
why don't you just have them removed? It would probably be easier at this point.
I'm doing it gradually. Yeah, I mean it'll help. You know, if I need to take up another job, get them just all yanked out.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. And then you go to McDonald's and lobby for McSoup, something.
They have that here. What is it? Congee. So like rice soup.
Yeah, at McDonald's?
At McDonald's. Yep.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, all kinds of interesting stuff here.
Interesting.
That's why whenever I travel to different countries, I check out what the regional thing is at McDonald's.
Interesting. Note from Michelle for people who were on StreamYard. I can't believe we've been using it for over a year. Not this show, but just in general. You might have to go out and re-up. So on. Makunji, is that what it's called?
Kanji, but no, they don't call it McKanji. I don't think. But, yeah.
It took me a second, Wayne. Thank you. Sorry. Again, my brain's a little off today.
Yeah, thought he was talking about a Scottish friend.
Hi, Beck. Hi, Emma. Hi, Orlando.
Yeah, a lot of people here. I guess I ran off so many people on the show I did last week that we had a boomerang effect. I should do it more often.
Yeah, exactly. Either that or it's Ben, but you take the credit.
Yeah. I just don't see that being plausible. So I mean, I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna have to go with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben. All right, hey, let's speaking of Ben, let's rock on and get to the headlines of the day. All right, so you go first. What do you got?
Not a lot, and we have a lot, but not too much to talk about. You and me are working on a bunch of behind-the-scenes type stuff and filling our days with that. And that's been fun and a challenge, and I look forward to announcing it whenever we can. So
cool. Yep,
that's it.
So you're talking about the thing other than the porn studio?
No, I meant that part because I thought that was the same deal.
Well, sorry.
Well, I mean, we have different studios. Yeah. We have the different genres or niches, so it's all right. They only know about the ones that don't go on the dark web.
There you go. So headlines for me. Well, obviously, Wild Claws went live yesterday, so that's why we're having Ben on. And it's doing pretty well. So if you guys haven't gotten a copy of that, please do. If you have gotten a copy, please review it once you're done reading it. And please share all over the place. We would definitely appreciate the help. Additionally, I am 2 chapters away from finishing the 3rd and final book in the 2021 Vaccine Zombies trilogy. And I mean, I still have to, go back through and dev edit my own 22 chapters, the last that I wrote. So I'm hoping to have it turned over. The goal was to finish it by the end of the month. I should be doing that, and then I can turn that over to Team Ass. And then after they've had it for a few days, I will then open it up to Team Damn, and then it will go live. The second book goes live on February 12th. Aside from that, there's other stuff, but I really can't talk about it just yet. So sorry, but we'll get to that later. And I'm going to move fast unless you have anything else. All right, you've promised the next thing is going to be terrible, so let's hope you're right.
Yeah, these are two related jokes or similar, so we'll just get through them. So a man has an appointment at a clinic, but he's really thirsty. He finds a glass on the desk and drinks it. The sperm bank employee says, "Hey, where'd my drink go?" He said, "What? You mean your milk?" He's like, "Yeah. Yeah, you drink my milk." That was it.
Wow.
You drink my glass of milk.
I don't know. So I'm going to start looking for a new co-host if this shit keeps happening. Go on.
It made me laugh because I figured it was going to be sperm. Yeah, this next one will be more of your taste.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah. My proctologist tried to ease the awkwardness after an unexpected orgasm. He told me it's perfectly natural. Still, I wish he would have aimed away from me.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I tried the silly one and I just had to go.
Mr. Johnson, said the doctor, you're really going to have to quit masturbating. That's all there is to it. But why, doc? Because I'm trying to examine you. Yeah. All right. So anyway, right. Well, I don't even know where to go with this. Yeah. Let's just bring in Ben.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Be ready. Here comes Ben Zackheim. he is.
That's the
Author
soundtrack for Mars.
extraordinaire?
Yeah. Well,
That's a lot of
it's like
pressure,
saying
guys.
special author. There can be quote marks around it.
Oh, I
But
see.
you like the baby
All
pick?
right. I actually thought that was pretty funny. No,
The baby pick?
No, the jokes.
I didn't come up with either of them. I just try and pick
I
one
was
that's
laughing.
gonna make them groan. So
Yeah.
Ben, you're a smidge quiet. I don't know if you can.
see, he sounds okay to me. So I don't know.
Oh, does he? Okay,
Oh,
you're
so
much
you're-
louder than he is to me.
So you have a crappy mic and crappy.
Okay. Well, let me change that. Noah, you're a bit loud.
Yeah.
Are Ben and I balanced to you as far as
Yep.
volume?
Let me see what I got here because I have not changed the settings on this since it's set up.
No, I'm asking you if Ben and I are about the same volume, because if we are, then you're loud.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I've adjusted my mic volume. Hopefully that's a little better.
Rock.
No.
Yeah, this whole thing's been a tough act to follow, Wayne. Like those jokes.
If it's still loud, I'll tweak it some more. So who knows?
Yeah.
Bennett says all three sound good. Just
Okay,
don't worry
rock
about it. Jeez.
Rock and roll. All right. So anyway, welcome.
You guys are more neurotic than I am.
Well, like I said, I'm high on morphine, so you have to kind of excuse
Oh,
that.
that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Medically prescribed. I didn't go after, in a dark alley or anything.
Well, that's why he told the jokes he told.
Yeah.
No, I had those laid out like already this morning.
All right. That's why he enjoyed the jokes he told.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that little bit of vodka always helps too. So,
Yeah. Hey, why not drink vodka at 11 o'clock in the morning? I think they call that a problem.
No, it's breakfast.
They call it a
breakfast
solution.
around here. Yeah.
So is your other meeting after this one then? Anyway, right. All right. Well, first off, hey, congrats on finishing up the New York Paranormal Police Department.
Thank you. You too.
It was fun
without you.
Well, it was fun. I think we had a good time with it, and
it was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed how it turned out.
Yeah, no, it's action packed. It's it scratched every itch I had to make kind of a fast paced staccato. Too many strings to follow, but somehow still being fun kind of story. So I'm happy with it. I hope everybody else is too. So we'll see.
So tell everybody how it got started.
Start rolling in. Well, I mean, the New York Paranormal Police Department was like starting all the way back to the beginning there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So I was working on Relic. I was like 4 books in to my other series, Relic, and John, being the big idea guy, always, forever, ambition, a lot of energy, good leadership. Came in to a bunch of us and said, "Hey, you guys want to write some Paranormal Police Department books?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." Ian Dex was awesome. I read the first book and really loved it. The whole idea of like doing different cities, different areas for each police department, and we could kind of play in that world a little bit and build it up. I thought that was super exciting. So
this is great. Just so you guys know, I am. He is sending me a PayPal invoice after this. So
yeah.
No, I was going to say I cannot see underneath this spot for either of you guys, so you could be sitting next to each other.
Okay. You never know. I think we have different backdrops, but that's
reach over.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind keeping your fantasies to yourself, though, we'd appreciate it.
Green screen technology.
Yeah. So, and of course, being that John is always like, dude, you got to write female characters. You're great at writing female characters.
Yeah, right. What you know.
Everybody said that.
Exactly. Right. What I know. Which I people keep telling me that. So it's just like, all right, well, I guess the next series I gotta do a female lead. Actually, Brandon just told me that too. So it's like, what? All right. So he's like, all right, sure. And so we came up with we wanted to do a Were-Tiger. Came up with Bethany Black and Max Shakespeare was like, it just, I don't know, it just kind of happened. She had to have somebody who was kind of sassy to counter her kind of not straight, but very serious. And she was like so determined to be part of the Paranormal Police Department. It was like a dream of hers.
And Max, remember, Max came from Netherworld.
That's right. Yeah. And so it was the perfect character because he was sassy. He was New Yorker. He was tried and true paranormal police department. So he was like, he has no romance about it at all.
Mhm.
So I love the idea of that clashing, kind of the
Being
idealism.
all kind of
that.
shell shocked after what happened in the last Netherworld book. Because I
Yeah,
remember reading
yeah.
that and then all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool to spin off a flawed character, even
Yeah.
if it's not the main one. So that was an interesting tactic, I think.
Yeah.
Totally. And,
No, I actually remember when that happened.
Yeah. Well, John actually was like, yeah, I really want to kind of, I think, wasn't that you say you really wanted to wrap that story up?
Well, what are you talking about?
For Max and his partner. So
Right.
Max his partner was killed. I think that's how it happened.
Yeah. So thanks for spoiling that. But in the Netherworld series. But anyway,
he went to live on the farm.
Man,
it's all
like,
okay.
No, it was a bit side. It didn't really matter. But the point was
I have to say, it's like trying to not give things away about like Marvel comics because there's so many strings that run through it.
It's not a big deal anyway. Max is actually just a very short. Well, he's a pixie, but short-lived. Not short-lived. His partner short-lived. He wasn't a player in the Netherworld at all. It's just a crew that had showed up and saw that. And so when we were hunting for that character, who can we bounce off of that? That was when it was just like, well, we had Piper and Payne were up in New York because we were talking about doing the New York area. Piper and Payne were up in New York, and I remember something had happened, and then I went back and I saw that, and I said, hey, we got this pixie who his partner was killed and everything else, so that could be good. And you were like, yeah, let's do the pixie. And I was like, okay. So then I gave that to you. Hi, Leslie. So anyway, go on,
Leslie. The thing that I like the most about working on this with you is the structure of it. And I'm finding writing Relic is the fun of my life, but I think there's having a partner, having somebody to bounce something off of, kind of map it out generally. And then what we did is we just kind of whittled that we start out generally, and then we just kind of whittled down. I would do a few chapters, and then you'd come in and give some feedback just to make sure the voice was right. And then I kind of went through and did the whole outline, and then we kind of just basic. Well, I know you're going to think this is creepy, but we massaged it. And that first book was done in, I don't even know.
Yeah, it wasn't creepy until you pointed it out.
Yeah, until I started to use the hands.
Yeah, the tiger claws. There's cosplay, but don't get too into your own. So Ben has admitted that Bethany Black books are way better than the Relic series. So if you have to choose,
yeah, pretty much. It certainly seemed to be coming from my feminine side. Maybe I don't know what it is, but no.
Wait, hold on. This implies you have a masculine side. Wait a minute.
I'm a gamma male. Is that zeta male? Yeah, but no, but working with a partner is definitely something that I want to do. And so, that was not necessarily the way I wanted to go, but after wrapping this up, because this is what happened with the latest book. I'm jumping way ahead to the end, but right now we just wrapped it up, and I realized I've only ever wrapped up one series before, and so it was this fifth book, and it was just this big. It was fun, but it was hard to kind of see how everything was going to come together.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking maybe for books 9 and 10 of Relic, I'm going to have to find a co-writer so I can bounce stuff off and really hone it down. So
you don't really need a co-author for that, but you need to have somebody who can basically. This is actually a good point because we also do writing boot camp thing that we do on weeks we don't have authors just to kind of talk about different things. So this is a good point to get to. A lot of people have problems with that, like closing off a book. One of the things that I recommend is that you go through all of your other books and you literally write down every single thread you can think of. So, for example, when it came to the Badlands stuff, right?
Yep.
So trying to figure out all of the different things, I had to reread the first 3 books, which was good because I was narrating them anyway. So as I was narrating them, I'm going, oh, can I write?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was doing that kind of thing. And so what ended up happening is when I got to that last book, I said, okay, I've got all these threads that have to get, somehow tied together. And then, of course, it was talking with Orlando and going back and forth and going, here's what I'm thinking. And then I would throw things his way and stuff like that. And so finally it was, you just realize I've got all these threads, I've got to link them together. And, obviously you have to have that, huge, fight or whatever it is at the end of urban fantasy, especially.
And everybody has their kind of moment where they get to shine.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, they have their moment. They might end up having a bad moment, whatever. And then when it's all said and done, what I did with Badlands was I just said, I did the thing where, at the end of some movies where it shows like the one character like this, going like that. And it says, Joe now works for Baskin Robbins, whatever, right? It would do all that. So I kind of did that, but I did it longer. So I gave each one of them their own short chapter, but I wanted to close them out that way. And so when we talked about, what were we going to do with Bethany, we kind of did the same idea because it's a close off, right? And so it doesn't mean that, it wasn't one of those things where we said, they're all dead and that's it. That's the easy way to do it, right?
There were a couple of times where I was just like,
Exactly.
That's how every story eventually ends. You just kind of, fill in the parts before that.
You cut it off before the. But as Louis C.K. says, nothing good ends well.
So take the which is true for him. Take all of the points from all of your books, the major threads, and make sure that you've closed them off in the books. So you're going to have to reread. And when you do that, so you're going to find some threads that are left open and so on. And when you get that to the end of it, at that point, if you need somebody to bounce those off of, then you could say, I'm trying to figure out how to wrap these up. I'm not sure what to do. Well, number one, I can help you with that if you want. But, you can also bounce it off a few people and just say, hey, guys, what do you think? What do you think if you want? Or just choose a person that is a diehard fan that has always given you good ideas and bounce that. But that's typically why you see me write with other people, because it's so much better to have somebody to bounce ideas off of and so on. With the 2021, I purposefully didn't do that because I'm like, I want to do this on my own. And I have to admit, it's tougher than I thought, but at the same time, it's also freer. So I'm able to just like do whatever. And then when I get back, I'm still wrapping everything up because I've learned how to do it, but I'm bouncing ideas off of, I'm looking in the camera. What would you do? So
No, that's a good point. I mean, it's a lonely enough business and craft without trying to getting lost in your own kind of thoughts all the time. Everybody dies the end.
It's true. It's true.
The evening is well.
Yeah.
I'm going to not touch that one.
Take too long. That's a lot harder than you might think.
But to give a poll with choices?
Because then you're going to try to make everybody happy and you just can't do it. So especially if you have like 20, 30 threads, good luck.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I got to where I was wrapping up one book before the end just because I'd set so much crap up. So it's a lot more than you think.
You have to pull the trigger. You're the author. So But
I think probably the biggest challenge of writing the New York Paranormal Police Department, I don't know if you've run into this with other authors, is this the number of characters, which is a tendency of mine to come up with like way too many characters, and each of them has to have their own arc, their own, and that's not an easy thing to do. So I'm almost positive we forgot about somebody.
Maybe.
And we're gonna hear about it.
Well, hey, if we forgot about somebody, then you have to write a short story. Exactly. Now everybody's gonna do research.
Exactly. Hey, an excuse to jump back in for a short story. I would love that excuse. So if you find something.
Yeah. So there was this guy Joe in book 3. He basically, you just walked past him. He was at an ice cream stand. But anyway, what happened to him?
There was the guy where she kicked his ass because he was like catcalling her.
Well, but he doesn't have.
So his tragic backstory. I mean, it turns out that he's a very flawed and complicated character.
Yes, he's got issues, and yes.
It turns out he was really doing that to Max, but
Yeah.
Bethany's ego got, you know.
There's the twist. There's the twist. But yeah, so I think that was probably the biggest challenge in the end, was, you know, kind of tying all those things up together. And the other thing I loved about the writing this was just like, dude, this thing needs more something funny. Because like sometimes I'm just not funny. Like I can't. I can be snarky. I can be like sassy, but there's no laughter going on, and you need that in the paranormal police department. So
yeah,
what you can kind of see sometimes when you're reading it, it's like, that was an awesome joke. That must have been John. You know?
Oh, come on. No,
yeah, I see in all of our books that we have the tagline "sassy." We use that all.
Yeah, that's snark and sass are like
snark. Yeah, sassy is not one I've run across yet.
Now, but here's the thing, though. I think it's good because everybody came at this at a different angle. Noah and I have a very similar voice. I mean, there are a lot of things where we'll do stuff and you cannot tell who's doing what. So sometimes I'll get credit for something that he's done. Sometimes he'll get credit for something that I've done, and you just can't tell. So
I've forgotten things. So I'm like, yeah, that was a good joke. Yeah, you wrote it. Oh yeah, and then the other way around.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things where you really it struggles to tell us apart, especially when it comes to the humor. So you know that's tough. With Eric is his humor is way out there.
Yeah.
So he does that. We know with Orlando, it's action humor, and it's just. Especially his wordplay is just really well done. You know, the shoot 'em harder type stuff, right? The wordplay is really tight. So it's more action, fun, adventure, funny, if you know what I'm saying. So, but there were times where I said, I really need to PPD this, and I chapter 34 it, you know, something like that, right. Because it's like, we have to bring this at least into here a little bit. At which point, you know, he's raising his hand. I did not write that. He has no problem admitting. Nope.
Disclaimer: Chapter 34 was not mine.
Was not mine. But I wrote books 4 and 5 of Badlands, and that was tough for me because I had to try to stay sort of on par with what he normally does, which that was not easy for me because that's not my normal thing is dick jokes. Yeah.
And then you get reviews saying this is Orlando's best book.
Exactly. When you know, you get reviews on from one of our past readers, Orlando, this is your best book ever. I'm like,
anyway. Don't listen, Orlando. Don't listen.
No, don't listen to that. By the way, the ghostwriting fees are due. On Montague and Strong. No, I'm just kidding. But with you, I think where your humor came in was with the situations. I think that's what differed. And I like that. I like that it wasn't everybody had the exact same humor because to me, that's just, you're just replicating, you know, my voice basically. So you're a ghostwriter at that point with your name on it.
Yeah.
Yours was situational. The inspiration of Junker, for example, that was great. That was really great. I mean, you know, when I read that, I was like, okay, I love this character. And it was just funny in and of itself. Was it out loud laughs? No, but it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Junker came up because it was a discussion that we were having, actually, all of us, Orlando and Noah and Eric and you and I. And one of you said something about how there has to be a pet, you know, or it doesn't have to be, but it's nice. It's fun to play around with a pet. You know,
as a cat, have a pet.
Yeah,
have
exactly. So the cat has a car for a pet. You know, so it just was kind of fun. And you know, the thing with the vines, that was kind of out there. I don't know where the hell that came from.
Well, no, I loved it because you had to feed the car.
Yeah, you had to feed him. You know, and he's like a pain in the ass. And I just kind of picture this big '70s kind of, you know, boat of a Cadillac or something. I never really figured out which one it was, which model, but I had it clear in my head.
Now, did you ever say what it was?
No, I don't think so. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was left.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I just remember a junker, an old junker.
Yeah. Really, you just kind of have a picture in your head, you know.
Yeah, and for me, it's the Vacation, with you know, National Lampoon's Vacation, the big. the fuck's the thing's called? Station wagon.
Oh yeah. The what?
The station wagon.
The station wagon. Okay.
Yeah, from National Lampoon's Vacation.
That's
so
right,
that big
right,
station wagon,
Yeah.
you know, that's what I pictured. And everybody else has a different, you know, thing of what it could be. But I thought it was a very, I remember, you know, opening that up and I was reading through and doing the developmental edit and I got to that point and it was, you know, giving the car over. And then as soon as the car had a personality, I was like, okay, that's awesome. And I was laughing through that whole chapter because I thought it was great.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Now what you could do is you could write a short story about Junker.
Yeah, Junker deserves it. Junker could do it. I mean, he actually
lived a hard life out on the streets.
He turned into a car. A witch turned him into a car.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But who was he originally?
His name was Joe Junker.
No, what was that show? There was a show where a guy turned into a car, like he was a wear car. I'm trying to remember what it was.
No, seriously?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember it. Someone will know or I'll remember afterwards. But yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe he's been able to turn into a human the whole time, but just never felt like it.
It's interesting how everybody had different views of what the car was. That's
I know. I'm looking at these here. It's really interesting. Audrey pictured big old black British cab, totally. You know, Leslie, like a 4-door. It definitely was a 4-door in my mind. It wasn't like a station wagon, but
oh, that's right. That's right. Chris has got it. My mother, the car. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, no, well, that was Wayne and Chris. So yeah.
A short story would be fun because Bethany could be super pissed that he was a guy the whole time. It's like I sat on you. It's like actually you did sit.
Yeah, you did.
You sat on me.
Yeah, I idled very hard.
Now, whenever we do like post short stories, we try to keep the main character out of it.
The main character out of it, yeah.
And everything else. So it's kind of like a side thing, kind of like what happened at the end of at the short story at the end of Wild Claws, which we won't tell anybody about, but you know they can find it. Very short story, but yeah.
Never commit road rage against a warlock.
Exactly. So you seeing this on the screens, Ben?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can see the chat. I can see the comments.
Right. I'm just making sure everybody can see it because sometimes, you know, it doesn't actually show up. So to everybody else, because if people are on YouTube right now watching or on a different page watching, they won't see the other pages or the other groups chat, which is kind of weird, but you know. Okay. Anyhow, so it was fun doing the whole New York thing. And so thank you for being a part of that.
That's my pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, we had a good time. So tell us more. Talk about Relic now.
Well, I mean, for anyone who's not familiar with Relic, it's basically inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Indiana Jones, which are two of my favorite kind of universes. So it's about Kane Arkwright and his partner Rebel. Kane is a billionaire adventurer because that's never been done before. So I figured, you know,
something new.
But he has you find out he has a mysterious past as you get through. About book 5 is where you realize he's not who you think he is. And he realizes he's not who he thinks he is. Rebel is his partner, who's a magicist, as I call wizards and witches. I just kind of group them all together into magicist.
Cool.
And she has these long fingernails that can cut people's limbs off. But the two of them are charged with finding relics of great power and import that have been hidden by vampires who ruled the world 1,000 years ago. But the vampires are awake now. They've been asleep for 1,000 years. They're awake again. And Kane and Rebel have to find the relics before the vampires do. And the vampires are quickly gaining power in the world. So up to book 8 and writing book 9. And trying to manage all the twists and turns, but it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've had to take a break because I had to get book 5 out on Paranormal Police Department, but I think I'm gonna dive back in this coming month in February. So
right on. So it's you know what, we actually did have a couple of questions real quick for you regarding Bethany. So I don't want to forget those because they were kind of.
Oh, sure.
Let me put this one on the screen. Is Granny G inspired by anyone? She's hilarious.
Wow, Granny G, where did she come from? She came from the darkest part of my soul, I think. Well, she first appeared in Brooklyn. They had to go. I think that was the first appearance. I think she was. You know what she really was she was a response to me having so much fun with Max. I think. Does that make sense? Like Max was so he was so much. He was like a New Yorker. You know, he was really kind of nasty and curt. Pervert in his own kind of quiet way. And I wanted to kind of find a female counterpart, somebody that I could really have a good time, kind of dig in and gave her opportunity. It was also a setup for humor. I think she was definitely somebody who's like, she's going to be kind of like, that's the other thing. Sorry, totally. She's totally based on my Aunt Blanche. My Aunt Blanche was about 4 feet. If she was 4 feet even, she was super tiny. She had breasts out that were, out to here. Raspy little voice, and talking like this all the time. Ben, come on over. I got some liver for you. Like, oh, great, sounds fun. Because I was in New York, NYU, and it was like Aunt Blanche was the one who like took care of me when I was first in New York. Basically,
right.
She would make sure I was fed.
Your personality is making a lot more sense as we talk.
I'm glad. We got to spend more time together. But yeah, she was like, come on over, So it was definitely based on her because she was like that. Very very loving, but all on her own terms. And sometimes those terms were like, you get the fuck up here and you have a dinner with me right now, like really serious.
Was she Al Pacino?
No, not quite. She was. That is everything.
It was. It was his cousin Cappuccino.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to do a New York Jewish accent. Kind of like that's what she was. So yeah, she was a trip, and so that's where Granny G came from as far as attitude.
Great. All right, Chris asked. This is my question. How do you work together? Because all the co-authors are different. I think you kind of answered that with the how we handled like the plotting and so on and so forth. But since it was, I think we kind of answered this, Chris, unless there's something specific that you want to jump in on with that. But yeah, let's see. Okay, here's another question for you then, Janine. Love the New York PBD series, love the Relic series. Was there another genre that you would like to try writing in?
Yeah, I am, and Leslie, I told Leslie that I'm working on a new series and plotting it out. I do actually want to work in a space opera, so specifically, like a space pirate, trying to get something done over the course of 5 books. So space opera is definitely where I want to go with it. Like. It's funny because Harrison Ford, I guess, is my god because it's like Indiana Jones and Han Solo are like that. What else do you need? That's
what else do you need?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm doing a space opera as well, but a little bit different. Maybe it's just whenever you're writing fantasy so much, that's just kind of the natural. Yeah, I want to get away from swords and go to lasers for a little bit.
Akin to Platoon F.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think it's going to be necessarily an easy transition because I've been doing urban fantasy, but I have this itch that I gotta get to it.
This is after the sequel to Relic, right?
This is after I finish Relic. I have 2 books to go.
No, I mean the one with John.
Oh, yeah.
The Junker.
Yeah, exactly. The shorts, yeah. But yeah, that's So yeah, that's
because
I think
you actually did do kind of sci-fi that way. So you've done.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. No, that's the other thing. I was actually going to bring that up.
Oh yeah.
What is it with the name Relic and you?
Yeah, that's right. We did write another book together, didn't we?
Yeah, I think I came up with the original book named The Relic, right?
Yeah. Did you?
but
Okay.
but then your series, obviously, you called it Relics.
Yeah. So what was that, like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
You
So
wrote
you're
a
gonna do like
series,
Space
one
Relics as your next thing?
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to
Relics
be a
with an
relic
X.
with a K. Yeah.
With a K, yeah, exactly.
Now, out of curiosity, in your space, are you working with anybody on that?
I probably shouldn't. Yes, probably.
Okay, so you don't have
But
to
yeah,
say. You don't have to say.
yeah.
Just make sure that whoever it is okay with you bouncing planets off each other like friggin' billiard balls.
I still think that would be awesome. I mean, so the idea
totally.
yeah. So anybody who doesn't, I mean, nobody knows about this book. John and I wrote a Relic. It was a sci-fi book called Relic, right? Or The Relic.
It was called Relic, yeah, I think so, or The Relic, or something like that.
Yeah. And it was fun as hell. I mean, he did one. Oh, that was the first time we were like, you should write a female character. So I did a female.
And you did a great job.
Thank you. And you did the
very scary, mentally disturbed
android
guy.
Yeah.
Which is the one I related to. So what that says.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. And so we went back and forth on it, and one chapter, and that was actually a lot of fun, even though I frustrated I think you got.
Okay. We have to pick it up. I've got to make fun of you here. I mean, come on.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sure.
So I'm reading this chapter.
I love this idea.
I'm going, what the fuck? That's pretty much what happened, right?
Yeah.
So the idea was this ship was running away from this ship. So these ships are flying like that. And Ben's idea, these planets got so close that the one ship squeezed through.
Well, it wasn't. They were like perfectly like same weight, and they were like days away. Well, that was in my. Yeah, but no, there was no atmosphere. It was like two asteroids. It was basically like two big, humongous asteroids.
And they had no gravitational field or anything.
No, there was something they were circling, but they were circling and they were like getting super close to each other. And he's like, they were just
they
yeah. I remember reading that, and I'm like, are they super balls? I mean,
that's what I said. I said, does one have an 8 on it and one have a 1? Like, no. Anyway, so we're going back and forth. He's going, yes, it can happen. I'm like, no, it really can't happen.
You know what? I still, every time I got space.com, I go there once in a while just to make sure, because there have been some instances where they have two heavenly bodies that are like
not getting close enough.
No, of course they're not. But
so
I'm like,
a ship can just squeak through. There's no way.
Yeah, I know. But if I could just find one, you're like, there's no. Anyway. Yeah, I thought it was.
But it's wise that you're doing space opera, because then you get to make shit up. So
you can make stuff up. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. See, now that's the thing. But we didn't have that agreement ahead of time, and so we were doing this thing, and then all of a sudden it becomes this billiard ball space object thing, and I'm going, what? So yeah. But anyway, so that was pretty funny. But the story itself I thought was really fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Robin, my wife, read it, and she said, I really love the chapters with the psychotic guy. Those were really good.
Those are really good.
I was like, that's great, Robin. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for the support there. I'm just going to go drink. Yeah. And you're like, damn it, I knew we should have done the billiard ball planets.
Yeah, exactly.
But anything. Anyway. Right on. So cool. So back to Relic. So here was a question. I bet I know the answer. Yeah.
Well, okay. So no, not yet. And the reason there's no audiobook, I have the guy. I don't know if you listened to it, Benna, but I love him. He's a great narrator. I want to do more. It's money, but it's also the way Amazon. We don't need to get into the business right now too much, but Amazon is mistreating audiobook people right now, and
so we have a big rant on it already, so yeah, you can go back and listen to that. That was
so I would like that to happen as soon as things kind of like even out, but there are no actual solid plans right now. The narrator's standing by. I'm ready to do it, but I got to figure out what Amazon's up to.
So all right, as soon as you're done with Relic series, I'm assuming you're doing that and then jumping to the space opera.
Yeah, definitely going to finish 9 and 10, the first arc for Relic, and then go into the new one fresh. Yeah.
And so at that point, do you ever plan to come back to Relic, or are you literally wrapping it and saying, okay, Relic's done,
No, I love that world too much, and this is really the first part of. I definitely know what I want to do next for the next 10 books, and it's a nifty idea that I have not seen done. So I really want to do it, and Relic is the perfect story for it, universe for it. So
Good.
Definitely going to be going back to it. Yeah.
Now, is it going to be the same characters, or are you going to spin it off, or?
It'll be mostly the same characters, those who survive.
Yeah, we read that everybody dies, remember? So it's going to be hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone died, but in a separate universe.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it just so happened that the Grail bounced and it like water sprayed out on everybody. And,
there you go.
A couple of people made it through these 2 planets that were.
Yeah, the planet's dying, but they jumped over from one to the other one.
Just by they're like, here we go.
You tease me now. Just wait. Just you wait.
Oh no! Like, see, now here's the thing. If you set it up,
it's again, be a huge,
Platoon F. Yeah. Platoon F is ridiculous. Yeah. If you set it up, that's one thing. But no, for it to just happen out of the blue, because like, well, I don't know how to solve this problem. Hey, a couple of planets. No.
And throwing cartoon physics into one that's been plausible is kind of
is the problem.
Yeah.
So that's why
I enjoyed the book. It was fun, but at that point, I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
No, we didn't have that in there. You didn't read that. That never made the book.
Well, it was similar though, because you didn't want to change it too much.
Yeah, but no, I definitely didn't have planets like getting that close together and letting ships squeak.
But there was a bit where there was something similar in there.
There was some goofy stuff in it, yes, but it was Star Wars goofy because ships going in space.
Yeah,
no, that doesn't happen.
Explosions and
but I mean, but it's Star Wars, so that's why it's sci-fi, not science fiction, right? I mean, we talked about this a few shows ago, and everything else. And like I said, in like something like Platoon F, it's ridiculous what the shit that happened. We literally do go like this. Okay, we're stuck. How do we get out of this? I don't know. Instantaneous travel. Okay, we just throw that in there. But that's part of the joke from page 1.
Yeah,
it just like we're gonna do this. Yeah, I mean, one of the things about Geezer the robot is we say, I don't remember the exact words, but it's something like this. He was able to do things that were outside of physics because he didn't really know anything about physics. And that was kind of a joke on when Steve Martin said, he saw a kid riding his bike along the side of a fence line, right on the top of a fence, write it down. He goes, and he's going to be able to do that until the day some schmuck tells him about gravity.
That was the idea. You establish that logic, then it's not anything goes, but it has to be stuff within that humor, but it's still, the rules up
was decidedly not humorous.
Okay.
Our book, I mean, the Relic, our book. It was, come on. I mean, yours was fun and adventure, but the psychotic
that's because I really wanted to do a space opera. That was why we kept running into it. I really wanted to do like Star Wars. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and so we just kept kind of going back and forth. But anyway, it was fun. So now you're going to be moving on after you finish Relic. You're going to move on to a space opera series. Do you have like an arc set, like 5-10 books, or do you know?
No, I don't. It's going to be 5 books, but I don't have an ending to it yet. And until I get I have the quest, but I don't have the ending. I don't know how I'm going to wrap it up. His arc or the adventure arc. Actually, it might end up being her. Okay, we'll see. I keep getting told that I'm a female writer. No,
you mean like within the series, all of a sudden now it's...
Yeah, now it goes from
hey,
boom. That could work. That could happen.
That could happen.
You'd hit a different niche, like we were trying to talk Nasri into all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're enablers.
And also keep in mind this. When you're talking about, again, every now and then we try to throw in stuff for people with the writers boot camp and stuff. Also know your genre, know your tropes in your genre, because while urban fantasy really works great with female lead, does science fiction as well. I mean, I know there's a lot of great science fiction books with female lead. I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm saying is if you are looking at it from the business side, you also kind of have to take that in consideration. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't done any research. I'm just saying, it's something that you might want to research to say, well, where does this really work on that front. So that way you can make sure that, because it is a business, everybody knows that. And so you do kind of have to think in terms of it. And it wouldn't diminish the book regardless of the type of lead that you choose. The story is still the story. It's just a case of, but you do write female lead better. I mean, you just do.
Yeah.
It could be a switching perspective. I actually have been doing the research on it. It's kind of seems like the last refuge of the alpha male and a lot of the space opera stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one reason I want to do it is because I'm not good at writing female characters. So I as a main. So I want to stick with dudes. I love them.
I think you're good at writing female characters, but as far as female lead, we never tried that with you, so I don't know. But as far as like secondary characters, I think your female characters are great.
Right. I mean, whenever I've tried to write, I did that one short story I put on the site, and I mean, she was okay, but it didn't come off as an authentic female, I think. So it's the same thing like a lot of things where you could do it if you put in the effort, but is it worth, the trade-off of all the time and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah. But Ben, as far as your writing is concerned, I mean, with Bethany and with the Relic book that we did together, I thought that it just flows for you like that. I think that you have a very the way that you look at the opposite sex. I look at them like this, but the way you look at the opposite sex and how you write them is very flow. It doesn't require a lot of I don't know.
I would buy it. I'll buy it. I mean, I'm certainly comfortable with it. So,
what would be interesting is you do see a lot of female leads in space horror, like Alien and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
It could be that you find out what you're the most comfortable writing, and then find the genre that it hits. And actually, you can always have jokes.
Actually, you saying that brings up the good point that when we were talking about writing Relic, Ben was the one who said, I think that, and I'm talking about the science fiction, the Relic, not your UFO, but Ben was the one who said, I'm thinking kind of like, the Alien books with the female lead and all that kind of stuff from my side. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds good. And, that's when I first saw, how to write female lead.
Okay.
It was in that book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to do it. It's basically the trick is to write them like human beings.
We've said that before too. It's just
yeah.
There you go.
All female cast. There you go. Yeah, actually, I did, Sharon. I have an idea for an all female space pirate crew, and I kind of had in my mind. They're like the specific actresses that I would love to see play them, and there's like a Catwoman type, and there's a kind of a Harley Quinn type, and the stoic Starbuck from the most recent Battlestar Galactica. And it was just, I mean, they're a lot of fun. I've actually written a couple of chapters on that one. They're a lot of fun. I remember. I totally forgot about that. But it opens up with actually them. They had hired a small, tiny space rabbit, like this kind of rabbit alien that's like super fast, and they're working with him to try to stop somebody from stealing a relic, because I love relics.
Apparently.
And this little bunny rabbit is the only alien that can go in this one ship that's like this little round ball that just zips around, like, it's way too fast for any alien or any being in the universe to use, except for, of course, rabbits, because they think like it could be a squirrel or a rabbit. Like they're so spastic that they can just like move really quickly. And it was a lot of fun to write that. So.
Well, I mean, they were pirates in the Relic, the book that we did.
Oh, maybe that's it.
And it was an all-female cast.
And maybe that was it.
That was it.
That's what I'm thinking of. We've already written it, but I want to go back and make it full.
Yeah, and make it sellable.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think as I remember, I think besides your parents and mine, I think that was pretty much it as far as sales.
Yeah, exactly. I think Ben actually
I threw it on Kindle Unlimited, so you're welcome to that 35 cents.
Well, thank you very little.
Yeah, thank you. Ben asked a question earlier about research on a tiger that I just want to quickly answer.
Right. Did I miss that? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because Ben, there was a little bit of research needed because I didn't know much about tigers when we started. I didn't do a lot of research on were-tigers, which ended up biting us in the ass because some were-tiger fan was just like 1-star review.
This is not how something that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
fighting back. I'm fighting back on that bullshit.
I know.
A were-tiger is whatever you define it to be. What the fuck? Were-tigers don't exist.
Yeah.
So
No,
whatever you decide it's going to be. It's just like that idiot who contacted me and said, this isn't how pixies talk. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's how my pixie talk.
Pixie talks the way I want a pixie to talk. But on tigers, I did because I didn't know if the two things I didn't know is how many claws they have, because that ended up being a part of the story.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, that's 18 claws, I think, is what it ended up being.
Not if they're a were-tiger. They have 63.
Okay. No, but this is for tiger. Like, and then do tigers roar? I didn't know if they actually what sound do they make? And so when an action scene, Bethany was like, I had her roar at somebody. It's like, I don't know, do they? And they do. They have a pretty good roar. Not like a lion. Lions are amazing.
She had a hell of a meow.
Yeah,
hell of a meow. Yeah. You guys ever heard a lion roar in real life?
Yeah. Well, we saw it on TV, but not in real life. No, you've seen it in real life?
Real life. Oh yeah, at the Bronx Zoo. Oh my God. And he was just like, messing around. He's just kind of like, bleh, and it just goes right through your stomach. Like it just vibrates your whole body. And he was not even like at the top of his lungs. And he was like,
he's phoning it in because he's completely depressed and being locked up
in a zoo.
He's
in a zoo.
So like his one is like he's roaring for like in my suffering.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So why 18 claws? Because the real tigers have 18 claws. That's what you're saying.
I wanted to be as accurate as possible in some ways. Yeah. Like, it wasn't really a big deal, but I did have to do a little bit of research.
So are you also doing any research on the sci-fi stuff this time?
Absolutely none. And every time I don't do research, I'm going to be thinking about you. And
see, this is the problem, because you can get away with it in urban fantasy, but if you write science fiction, you might have to own some of that.
Yeah, unless you write sci-fi. You write sci-fi.
Well, no, I'll do space opera very specifically.
Right. That's
yeah.
Okay, but hold on now. Space opera. Define the difference between. I mean, because it's still science fiction or sci-fi. It's one or the other. It just happens to be operatic. Right, so it's an epic fantasy, basically in space, right?
But it's still like Jedi's, right. I mean, they have the Force, so there's
exactly. Yeah, but that's sci-fi. That's not science fiction. I mean,
right.
I see.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's all under the umbrella of science fiction, but it's not hard science fiction. It's sci-fi, right?
Yeah. There's all the different definitions: military, sci-fi, this, that, and the other, and
right. But the implication is when you say sci-fi, it's not based on hard science, right? Or even
like this
science or whatever.
Like the sci-fi science fiction channel changed to SYFY because they're like, we're not about science fiction anymore.
Exactly. But
we're about magical realism.
Again, it is science fiction. It's just one of them's hard science fiction based on actual science, and one of them's not. That's all. But when you go to space,
happens to be in space where they can do things that are not possible.
Right. Exactly. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. Like space opera, why are they singing? Why would they sing?
So this is actually not correct. So sci-fi has to be based on real science. No, it's hard science fiction does. Sci-fi is actually not based on sounding science. Sci-fi can be whatever. I mean, Platoon F. It's basically you're in space. There's robots. There's or anything like the Mars things. You're on the moon. You're all this kind of stuff. Or even Terminator is sci-fi, and that's happening all here. All that kind of stuff. But when you get into science fiction, that's when it's like, Gregory Benford type stuff where you land on an asteroid and you're trying to do all the stuff that would actually, they believe happens on asteroids. They're trying to mine this asteroid. It goes through all that. They're usually very heady, boring reads unless you're way into science. But then you have, Deep Impact or that one Sudden Impact or whatever it was.
The report movie that we watched.
Yeah, exactly. Or that one with Bruce Willis, where they fly up and all that. That's sci-fi. That is not science fiction because no, but it's still fun and who cares, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's just you kind of got to choose, and I'm assuming you don't want to do the research to do hard science fiction because that's
not hard science fiction, no. But it would be fun to find anomalies and heavenly bodies that because I love space.com. It'd be kind of fun to find something there that would
you find a couple things and anchor it for that bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So like 2001, right?
Yes, you can space baby, but some of the other parts actually made sense.
Right. So you have Arthur C. Clarke's 2001, right? That's science fiction. And then you have Event Horizon and Alien and those still fun as hell, sci-fi.
All right.
Yeah.
I buy it.
Yeah. Sorry. Or Larry Niven. He also was, did a lot of things like with the Dyson Sphere and so on, him and Jerry Purnell and all that kind of junk. They did a lot of things that were based on science. And there's always little areas in between where something is a little speculative or something is a little hokey, but you don't go full hoke if you're doing science fiction. There's a little leeway you can get, but otherwise, man, you'll get ripped. You'll get right
see,
across
that's the
the
thing.
goals.
Like I have no interest in. I'm not a research writer. Like I'd love to do a little bit, but if I have to watch my back with every line and idea, that would drive me crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean you pretty much have to have a science background to get it right. It's kind of like like I'm a programmer, and so whenever I see stuff where people write things that are programmery, I can tell right away you're not a programmer.
I hacked the system there.
Yeah, I hacked the system. Fine. If you say that, okay, you can get away with it. But if you say I hacked the system using, encrypted bits on this, and you start going to town on that, I'm gonna sit there and just go, it's like trying to like a dentist trying to tell a brain surgeon how to operate. It's like what?
Yeah.
So you just avoid it, completely, or know it and then make fun of it. Make it clear you're making fun of it.
Yeah.
But in
like
those
your
cases,
idea,
you have to know it pretty well. You have to know it well enough to make fun of it, because then otherwise it doesn't work out either.
That's true.
And so how you avoid that if you make fun of people like me instead? Don't make fun of the technology. Make fun of the guy doing the technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like Michelle's idea, the Princess of Mars. Be like, John Carter, like Juanita Carter, skimpy clothing. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I made it halfway through the first book, and
John Carter. I can't. Yeah, I have a hard time. I love the covers. Didn't Frazetta do the covers to some of those, or was that only Conan?
It looks like style. I'm not sure, but he
over your head.
That kind of
stuff.
stuff.
We're geeking out. We're geeking out in front of John.
Yeah,
not a lot. Yeah,
because I've read all the Conan books and stuff.
So here's a good point. Like The Martian, right? It was hard sci-fi, and then but then what happened was a bunch of scientists came back and said, no, that couldn't happen, or that couldn't happen. That's what I'm talking about. So it was written as a hard sci-fi, but that's when you start getting ripped apart, and so that's why a lot of authors will say call it hard science fiction. Use the actual science fiction. If you say sci-fi, you're taking away science, which basically means no, it's not really science. It's kind of science-y. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, it's a good point because The Martian was written as to be
hard.
Yeah, it was written to be more accurate. But then of course scientists immediately will start picking it apart as soon as you get popular with something. Well, that's not really how it happened. Joe.
Once Neil deGrasse Tyson gets you, then you've made it.
They'll just say that book doesn't
still
exist.
Fun.
That book it's not really a book. It's like
I actually like The Martian. I mean,
I did too.
It was at least plausible.
It was fun.
I mean, it didn't take giant leaps. I
thought
was
Passengers. Did you see the Passengers?
I haven't seen it yet.
It was really, really good. It was the guy from Parks and Rec and
Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, and it was really good at the end.
Don't give it away.
I'm not, but it just got hokey. But it's like it was really good. I enjoyed it. And then the other one, Interstellar, was really good until.
I love that one.
I
love that one. No, I love the whole thing. I loved it all. I really did. I thought it was great. But I'm also the guy who loved. I loved Matrix 1. I actually liked Matrix 2 and 3 better than 1.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Yeah,
the
I
guy to
can't
talk
go
to
with
when it
you
comes to
there.
those hated movies. Like I think Return of the Jedi was brilliant. I think Matrix 3 was awesome. Like it doesn't.
Did you also like Jar Jar?
No, that's right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right, you can stay on the show. I was
There's
hovering over the remove.
There's some tough bits in there because, like I said in one of the groups, that Jake, I think his name Jake Lloyd, came to a Comic-Con in Kansas City that played young Anakin, and he was like, you could just see he was twitchy everywhere he went because he's like, I don't know who's going to try and take me out, but somebody's gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a flashback. Space Pirates.
Ice Pirates or Space Pirates?
Ice Pirates.
Ice Pirates. I don't know. Remember
where they do the time skip and everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
I saw that when I was like 10. So
it's great. It's the guy from Spencer for Hire.
Oh my God. That's a
Eh.
synapse that hasn't fired in a few decades.
Who?
Spencer for Hire.
He
I said that's a synapse that in my brain that has not fired off in a few decades. I remember that show.
Yeah.
I never saw Ice Pirates.
No. I can't remember his name. It was also jeez. I suck with
herpes.
Robert Urich. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. So we should just bring Wayne in. He's basically our guy who can answer questions today.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, exactly. There were space herpes. Exactly.
Time Bandit. I love Time Bandits.
Yeah, Time Bandits was also very good. Ice Pirates, so with the space herpes and it was funny.
All right.
Oh, and recently came out a movie that was a sleeper. Laura and I had no idea what this was. We're looking at this, and we were looking for sci-fi, and we're just clicking around, and we saw this thing, and we were just like, "The hell is this?" It's called Space 76, and it's basically it's a B movie, but it has people in it that you know. I mean, they're named. There's a few actors in it that you're like, I know who that person is. They've been in some big movies, and all that kind of stuff. And it's all about a spaceship that's going from destination to destination, and the crew that's on it and everything else. But they're all basically 1976. That's how they dress. That's how they do the whole thing.
Oh my God, that's great.
It's hilarious. It was like totally. We were like, wow, this is funny, and yet at the same time, it wasn't. It kind of makes fun of itself.
It doesn't really know it's that funny.
No. It meant to be a comedy, but it was very good. I mean, we were. Don't get me wrong. It's not 5 stars, but I mean, it's 3.5 to 4. And it was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
It's a sit down and Netflix kind of thing. Then.
Yeah, probably. It's just
that kind of movie. You're like, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it's called Space 76. Let me look it up. But I'm pretty sure.
Are you guys
Space
watching
Station
anything?
76. Space Station.
Space
76.
Station. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'm looking at Space Station 76. Let me see who was in this. Patrick Wilson's in it. Liv Tyler's in it.
Oh, okay.
Jerry O'Connell.
Cue it up.
Yeah, I mean it's actually pretty good. I wish I could do a share of it. Here, I think I can at least. I might be able to share this tab. Let me try. We'll see what happens. So you guys can at least see that. Let me see. Brave tab.
Space 1999 was awesome.
Everything crashes. We'll be back.
Are you seeing that?
I see a spinning.
Yeah. Liv Tyler. I don't know the other two.
Yeah. Well, you do actually.
That's Shane Silvers, right?
Yeah. So, but these are the people. Anyway, it was actually pretty funny. And they have like these cheesy graphics and stuff, and everything, and the whole thing. It was actually pretty funny. The little party scene that's going on. But I highly recommend at least giving it a shot, because it's definitely worth a laugh.
All right.
Anyway,
I got to get through Gotham first, man. I love that show. Holy shit, it is a great show.
Yeah, I'm so far behind on everything. Yeah,
binging,
last
is the one
show.
to binge.
Which one?
Last show I saw was he's talking about Gotham. It was on the major network
as a young man.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. CW or something. I don't know. but it's on Netflix now, and it is just way, way better than you think it's going to be. I definitely recommend it. Any Batman fans should definitely watch it. Orlando, if you haven't.
So I don't know who wrote this because just as Facebook user, but where do you rank Plan 9 from Outer Space? I think Planet 9 maybe from Outer Space. I've never seen it.
Yeah, Plan
yeah,
9.
Yeah, that was. I used to watch that. I mean, you know, it's either you can either see it as the best or the worst.
Plan 9.
I watched it in like film school, like in years and years ago. It's been so long. I remember having fun watching it.
Oh yeah. Okay,
it's actually not a horrible movie. Everyone thinks it is, and then you find the really bad movies, like Nanos, stuff like that.
This is the one from like 1960 or something, 1950s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember
the quote unquote worst movie or the worst filmmaker of all time, whatever. Yeah, he does get a bum rap, especially when you see some movies in the last 10 years, $100 million movies that are worse.
So it seems
okay.
I already agree with you.
Orlando's on it. Good. Yeah, I'm bummed because I'm on season 4, and I'm like, I know I'm coming to the end. Just one of those I haven't been this hooked on a TV show since Deadwood, maybe. Like, I love Deadwood.
That's the Western?
That's the Western. Yeah, awesome, amazing. It's like English language is beautiful in it. The English is kind of a guttural, weird, jerky, complex.
It's the best cocksuckering TV show that you'll ever.
Wow, he turns cocksucker into like poetry. Like that's like it comes out in a very Shakespearean way. He uses it. It's just it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous series, and the performances are amazing, and ends kind of poorly in the movie. But
how violent!
It was amazing. Yeah,
you're really selling it to everybody.
How violent?
No, it's what's that?
How violent?
Very violent.
Oh well, violent. So much for that then.
Yeah, you don't like that, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's some really uncomfortable stuff.
So we actually just on a whim the other day just said, let's just watch this show, and we started watching Mr. Mayor. It's actually funny as hell, especially Bobby Moynihan's character. I mean, really funny. But there was also annoying characters where you're just like, oh, okay, can we go to the next character, please? But it's really funny. We've been having a great laugh at that one. So if you get bored, check out Mr. Mayor. It's actually pretty good.
All right.
Anyhow.
Very cool.
I remember watching.
I do just want to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. As I say, I remember watching TV. I haven't done for a long time. So the last show I sat down and watched was Mandalorian, just because of spoilers.
That was good.
But I'm making a list of stuff as far as sci-fi.
Second season of Mandalorian was genius.
Yeah. Redeems Star Wars, so that's a good one for me.
I have not seen this, but I will. What's that?
No, I haven't heard of that. I've also heard Avenue 5 or something like that is funny.
Avenue 5 is good. That's good. History of Future Folk. Yes. I will have to check that one out. Thank you. Avenue 5 is good. And I actually kind of like, was it called Space Team or something? The new one with Steve Carell? It's not like hilarious, but it's got its moments, and it's just kind of comfortable to watch. For whatever reason, I don't know. It's smooth, I guess you could say, but I wouldn't say it's like laugh out loud funny or anything.
Yeah, it seemed cringy, so I skipped it after the first episode. Same reason I'm not a huge Office fan.
I see. Yeah. It has a little of that, but it's not.
See, you like Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I can't.
Oh God! Yeah, I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's awesome.
One of the best shows ever made. That was hilarious.
I love that.
But yeah, it's definitely cringy. I mean, the whole "you're not my best friend." If you weren't my best friend, I would kill you right now. You're not my best friend.
You're not my best friend.
Why would you say that? Why would you say when the guy's threatening to beat the shit out of you? Why would you choose those words?
Oh my God. I identify way too much with that guy.
Oh man.
Say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Exactly. The billiard balls, but Red Dwarf was meant to be that way. I mean, that's the thing. You step into the world. You step into the world like it, that's what you get, but you don't
Well,
add
that
it
was the big,
afterwards.
yeah, that was a big thing. Like John, working with you on that series, I guess but the fear of God put in me about science fiction, because I was just like, I don't want to write sci-fi or science fiction. It's just like, why? I just want to have some fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's, if I'm not having a good time, it's gonna show.
And it was good too, because when you and I had done that, it also kind of said to me, I don't want to do that either. And that's why when I did Platoon F, it was just like, okay, this is going to be ridiculous. I'm going to set that stage immediately, right? And once you do that, you're safe, and then you do whatever the hell you want. But you really have to set that up, ahead of time. So
that's a good point.
Anyway, well, look, okay, so we've got New York Live. So congrats on completing that mission.
You too.
No promises on the junk or short, but it could happen. We'll talk about it. Maybe when you're done with your relics or something like that, if you're like, hey, I got a 2,000 word story in me and it'll take me a couple of days. So let's talk. All right.
A palate cleanser. Between series.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have, then you're going to be working on your space opera thing, and then eventually coming back to do some more work inside of the Relic series. Anything else?
No, that's going to fill my life with joy for a few years. I mean, there is one series that actually I've spoken with you about, just a trilogy. But it's going to be like, 1,000 pages per book. And that's my
1,000 pages.
My author, I want to do these 3 tomes, and I've got the story. I want to do one more. That'll be the one that I do when I'm, on the other side of these series.
See, the only time that this was impressive.
It's going to be the biggest thing you ever saw. Like, maybe even
in your bedroom, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be like, hey, not everybody can be this thick. But
this is the same way we write our books. It's like, you have a good time, and then at the very end, put some humor in that.
And then at the very end, it's just like real life. So check it out. One thing I'm going to say the bad phrasing. One thing we didn't touch on, Shirley Link, Camelot Kids.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shirley Link is now I put it under a different pen name, Ben Graham, which is my birth name.
What?
Yeah, I was, my dad's my
Zackheim now.
Yeah, I put it under Ben Graham.
Yeah, so, I've read that on his page. She's named after the cracker.
The cracker? No,
crackers.
Oh, great.
Remember, he's high. Go on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Oh, this is just me. You should know that well.
I was trying to protect you, but all right.
Yeah.
Just be honest. I'm just.
Yeah.
Tell about that series though, because I don't know why I kept thinking Shirley Jackson. I knew it was Shirley something, but it didn't end with Shirley, an old woman.
Yeah, it used to be Shirley Locke, because I wanted to do a teenage. I was working on Camelot Kids, which I had worked on Camelot Kids for like 8 years, 7-8 years, and I was just not in the mindset I'm in right now, where I just write and edit it later. And I was just really frustrated, so I wanted to do like a kind of a middle grade teen book, and I settled on. I was really into Sherlock at the time, the TV show, and I've always loved Sherlock Holmes, the books. And so I made a female, and her name was Shirley Locke. And then I released it as Shirley Locke, and then got a cease and desist from somebody. I don't even know who they were, if it was real. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. It's too close to Sherlock, whatever. At the time, it was not, open season. You couldn't do it if you wanted to. I think you can now. And so that was quick. I wrote those, and like each of those were like a week or 2 to write them. Super easy to just very simple little mysteries. And the Camelot Kids is one. Yeah.
You can upgrade it now, do the sequel series. She's grown up, she's married a man, and now she's Shirley Relic. And
Shirley Arkwright.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. I like it. And
it actually isn't a bad idea, though. I mean, to think in terms of, urban fantasy, she's moved to the future, and she's now Shirley Link.
You did. You tried to talk me into that.
Yeah.
You did. You tried to talk me into that when I was thinking of doing an urban fantasy book. You're like, just make Shirley Link grow up, and she's a vampire hunter now.
Yeah. I think it would be great. Okay, everybody, reply in chat if you would like to read. But yeah, I think it would be great because she has she brings the element of mystery. She has all of those friends that are already there, all that kind of stuff. I think it would be a very cool. I'd read it.
Fun.
So when John ages up the nano agents.
Well, that's actually interesting you say that too, because the Nano Agent series is basically urban fantasy sci-fi. And to have them grow up and everything else, that could be kind of fun also. But yeah, that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. But I've got too many other things going on. But here's the other thing. Camelot Kids. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it was fun as hell to write. That took a lot of time, a lot of thought. There are a lot of strings in it. I know exactly where I want to take it. I know how it ends. It just is so. I think so. The Camelot Kids is basically, about a kid who finds out that he's. Well, I guess I shouldn't give it away, but a kid who finds New Camelot and Merlin, and it's a parallel world similar to Harry Potter in that way, and it's basically about ends up being a conflict between Simon, the main character, and his father. But it's which is like my thing. All of my books are going to have something to do with that. If you read Relic, you'll see that. But I do want to get on to book 2. But the first one was like 400 pages, I think, and so it's more than I usually do. I can't do it quickly, so I have to kind of have time to do book 2. I know exactly what I want to do. My kid is like, he's just like, my son is just like, you better write that book. I had a friend of mine the other day. He said, my son just read it and found out there isn't a book and he's crying. Are you sure there's not a book coming soon?
You sure he wouldn't cry when he's reading it?
What's that? Yeah, exactly.
I was reading it. No, I agree. I think it's a really good book. I totally enjoyed it.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Very Harry Potter. Yeah.
It was, and it was, it was one of my authors. It was like before Kindle came, because before all the Amazon Kindle stuff started, I started to write it. So it was very much, and I've come from a writing family, so everyone's kind of have that author mindset of like, very serious, and it's got to take a lot, you have to be a lot of research, and that was my mindset going into it, which is why it took so long. And it was really only when Kindle came out and you and I started to work together, John, that I realized you can go faster, just have a good time, just write.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you're the reason I started writing.
Well,
I mean, you're not the reason I started writing. You're the reason that I started publishing, I should say, because Ben and I worked together at AOL.
Yeah.
And we worked in the games division together, and we did a few games together. We did Ice Pirates, Icebreakers, and no. Was it called Ice Pirates?
No, it was Icebreakers.
No, well, Icebreakers was the first one, but there was a second one.
Penguin
Pirates. Penguin Pirates. And Aliens Go Boom. And right. So we did those 3 games together, but we'd worked together a number of years at AOL. And then you said, I'm going to leave to pursue this writing thing. And we kept in touch, and you were writing, and we still actually did some game stuff together after that. That was outside. With something I can't remember the name of the company.
Games of Tomorrow.
Games of Tomorrow, right? And we had done what was it?
GOT.
And we did 2 games that we actually published on the iPhone. One of them was called Off the Hook.
Off the Hook.
And the other was Bob, which was bioluminescent organic. Can't remember what the other B stood for.
I can't remember what it. I barely remember it.
It was the exact opposite of the other game. One of them went up, the other one went down.
That's right.
And they had different. Characters, obviously. So we did that, and then we were working on a golf game that we never did, and then we were working on a fantasy adventure game that we never got finished either.
Never did.
Because
not even close.
But you were working on writing, and I was just like, so what is this all about? And then you started talking to me about the Kindle stuff, and I had no idea. And I had written a couple books, but I didn't know what to do with them. And that's when you were like, well, you can put them on the Kindle thing. And I'm like, okay. And everything else. So, and so I remember all that. So
2 years later,
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
like
was a big-
2013, I think.
He finally left. I think finally AOL was like, enough.
No. What it was
Yeah.
there is that AOL only kept people.
Oh, yeah.
They always laid off their best people, so I lasted like 18 years.
19 years, yeah.
You had to play this game of be really good until layoffs were coming, and then kind of get mediocre. Then you can stay longer. This guy's really not that good. Keep him. So yeah, but
I remember that all too well.
yeah. So you actually are the one who kind of got me into the publishing game with Kindle, which is why I'm sitting here.
I brought you into the mess. You would have gotten there anyway, because I remember when I was quitting, you were like, "What are you going to do?" And I was like, "I'm just going to go write because of this Kindle thing." You're like, "Really?" You literally said, "Really? Can you do that?" Yeah. That was literally. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and then that's when I ended up writing. You were writing the Shirley Link stuff, and I wrote Nano Agents.
Wrapping up Camelot Kids. Yep.
Yeah, I had already done Ononakin and Starliner, and so or a quest on doing a Starliner, and was partway through another, and then I said, well, I'm going to try this thing too, and so I wrote the Nano Agents books, which I actually had the idea to write back in 1996. But I just never did it. But so I had like this whole idea for Nano Agents where it was like, this massive thing where you would do nanosearch.com, so it was safe for kids. You had all of these different. I mean, I had like this thing,
this multimedia cross media.
Yeah, thing. Yeah, and so you could basically go, your kids could be part of this whole, universe of Nano Agents and everything else, and so you would send them to this thing. And if they wanted to search for stuff, they'd go through Nano Search, which would be safe, and all that kind of junk.
Like I said, it's always ambitious. You never.
I never aim low, which is why I never attain height. But so let's see. Quick question here. What years were you there?
2005 to 2011.
I was there from 98 until 2017. Yeah, I left in December of 2017.
Jeez.
Yeah, 98.
So what? That's 18 years, or I can't do math.
No, because it was October to October. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, not a great place, not a great product, but not a bad place to work.
It's interesting. I will never fault them for how they took care of their employees that remained.
No.
As far as their benefits, their what they paid. God. They were fantastic.
They were amazing.
But as far as them knowing what they were doing,
no,
not really.
And the Christmas layoffs, that was a tradition that just kept on giving.
I know. It's like what?
You'd have the holidays coming up. It's like, I wonder if I'm going to have a job. What a great way to have a merry frickin' Christmas.
For 18 years. But I'll tell you what, in 2017, when it happened, when it finally was happening, I was
just like, woohoo!
At this point, I'm already succeeding as an author. And I was like, hey, thanks for financing that, guys.
Severance package. I mean, I quit and they gave me a severance package.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's the way they treated their employees.
Yeah.
You call it that, but they usually call that blackmail.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is probably
to get back the tape though. That was the
hush money. Money. Yeah.
You had to give back tape. But
that's interesting. I'm hoping for that for myself. If I can just do a bad enough job to get fired and get severance, but not bad enough that they can get out of it.
Right.
So you got to get the sweet.
It's a constant balancing act.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's interesting. It was fun working there, but at the same time, not so much.
No, you were miserable.
There were years.
You were miserable.
Oh, well, no, it was just 1 year I was miserable. And other than that, everything else, I just didn't want to be there. I wanted to continue on to this, but, you had to eat. So, and you had to bank up, put up as much savings as you could. And then we had to sell the big house and all that and get the small house so we could, live basically not squander, don't get me wrong, but I mean, to basically live much, much cheaper in order to make ends meet. But I mean, I don't know. I when I look back at it, there were a lot of great times, but then there was 1 year of hell. And that year of hell was probably enough to make the rest of it almost not worth it.
Like rocket. Well, it was like rocket fuel, just like ignite. It's like, I'm out.
I mean, it was Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're this close to beating the shit out of your boss, you probably shouldn't.
God, yeah.
You probably shouldn't
When
be
you
there
actually
anymore.
when you actually do say, if you do that again, I will kick your ass.
I will kick your
that's a
ass if you do that
That's a
again. Yeah,
problem.
yeah, exactly. I wasn't kidding either.
Yeah.
I was damn serious.
It probably almost got you a promotion. But
actually, it got me a bonus.
yeah.
I'm not kidding you. It got me a bonus, and it got me listed as distinguished, which got me another bonus and everything else. And then as soon as I got the bonus, I went like this. Wow, this is great. Thanks a lot. I quit. I transferred to a different division. I was like, I'm out like that. And I got away just in time, because when I got away, 6 months later, that division was wiped. It still ran, but it was like a skeleton crew of like 3 people. And again, maybe I would have been one of the fucking 3. Damn it.
Yeah. Could have been.
So anyway.
Yeah, Leslie's like, do you ever name characters after coworkers and kill them off horribly? No,
Maybe.
but every single person I've killed has been John, basically, in one form or another.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I deserve it.
Yeah. Because I just don't want to give them the headspace, but I can understand people living vicariously that way.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, there have been people in mind. I mean, even with Bannon in was Cannon in Relic series. Cannon is based off of Bannon. So the bad guy in the first few books in Relic is named Cannon. And he's just like he's like this. I don't know. He's kind of falling apart. Everything about him looks like he's kind of like a picture of Dorian Gray type character, and he's all about winning, no matter what. He's all about like making sure his way of seeing the world is the way that everybody has to live it. And he's very
there
powerful.
There are no parallels to this going on in the world.
It's all Bannon. It's all Steve Bannon, the guy who ran Trump's.
All right, let's not go there.
No. It was out of total respect, because the guy is a genius, an absolute genius. But that's what it was based on. Because he was just like this. He has these huge aspirations that he thinks he's doing good. Like he personally, he doesn't think it's going to be an evil thing. But that's who Cannon was based on. And he falls apart, like literally, like Dorian Gray, just like he just melts away. He just falls apart. So
let's leave it at that. Okay. So let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that.
All right.
That's why whenever you make a deal to stay young, you don't use watercolors for the photo.
Yeah.
For the painting.
All right. So cool. Well, it's 12:30. It's past 12:30, which means we pretty much are going to have to get going here. But thanks to Ben for joining the call.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, congrats. And don't forget, everybody, Wild Claws is out. So please check it out. Post reviews if you can. And share with folks if you would, so we can continue doing this, because we love doing it.
And you can buy the Robo books if you like.
Yeah, grab those too.
Whichever one, the sci-fi one or the urban fantasy.
Yeah. I don't think the sci-fi one's available anymore. Maybe it is. I don't know. I thought we unpublished it.
I don't know. You might have taken it down, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we can just give it away to people or something at some point.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right. Well, anyway, good luck with all the stuff. Keep us posted on how things are going. You and I talk all the time anyway, because we both own reader links. So keep us posted as far as like the sci-fi stuff too. I'm sure a lot of people would like to know. And of course, I'd be happy to share it with the group as soon as you have something ready.
I'm excited to get into it. And happy birthday, Jen. I just realized it's your birthday. So.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.